Good morning, you guys. In regards to the Karmelo Anthony verdict, I must say that I absolutely was not surprised. But I was, and I still am, very upset by it, especially as the mother of two black sons. It's already very exhausting mentally to have to constantly talk with them about how to conduct themselves in various situations because they will not be perceived or treated as their classmates, friend groups, peers, whatever. Okay? So I'm going to make this brief in order to protect my mental health. Okay? Oh, and speaking of that, do not go back and forth with any suspected white supremacists in these comment sections. Throw them deuces emoji, block them, delete them, and move forward. Protect your mental health. Don't argue with these folks. You're not going to change their mind, and they're not going to change yours. But if I had to point out a silver lining in this situation, I would say that it is that many black Americans who have been fooled by a particular political party into thinking that there is a minority coalition or a people of color camaraderie, they are starting to wake up. Okay? Karmelo Anthony had an all-white jury. Okay? Those who say it wasn't an all-white jury, there were Latinos and Hispanics and Asians and blah, blah, blah on the jury, white adjacent. Until a non-black, non-white minority person proves me otherwise, white adjacent. But we saw this whole thing with the George Zimmerman case when he unalived Trayvon Martin. They said, oh, it wasn't an all-white jury. There was a Hispanic, a Puerto Rican on the jury. Now, a particular political party has conned many black Americans into fighting for all these other groups collectively. Okay? They have y'all out here shaming black ICE agents online, you know, calling them all types of derogatory names. They had, remember when they had that whole Stop Asian Hate? When it was a white boy that went in there and pew-pewed that Asian brothel in Atlanta. Wasn't even nobody black that did that. But they got that hate crime bill and framed it as, let me make this brief. But back to my original point. There is no minority coalition. There are no people of color coalitions. Okay? This political party had y'all fighting for these people to be here. Fighting for them in every scenario. But when they are given the chance to fight for us, they align themselves with white supremacy most of the time. They align themselves with white supremacy again. The juror with the Trayvon Martin case. The jurors with the Karmelo Anthony case. So, again, if there's any silver lining from the Rick Chow verdict and the Karmelo Anthony verdict, it is that black Americans who have not noticed are starting to notice that these other people of color do not have our back. Remember when Joe Biden said, y'all got to work with the Latinos? Remember when Joe Biden talked to black leaders like dogs, telling them who they needed to? I don't belong to any political party. Don't subscribe to any of them. But one of them lets you know straight up they ain't fucking with us. But the other one, they send other groups to be a buffer class. And we say, hey, they're not racist. They have these other different kinds of different people of color. Let me tell you something. There's racism And there's a segment of racism called anti-black racism. A person can be racist against black people, but not be racist against those other people. So just because a person has a person of color in their vicinity, it doesn't mean that they aren't racist. And many times, white supremacy will accept these other groups just so they can be a buffer class and an overseer to our asses. Peace out.